Hey guys, how are you today? I hope you had a great day. And if it's not over, I hope it's still going great. But today I wanted to talk about limitations that essentially we place on ourselves, consciously or subconsciously. But before that, I do want to clarify something because I'm always preaching how, people around us, they're a reflection of how we are inside, or, they're a reflection of us, they're a mirror of us. And that can be a little bit discouraging to hear. Let's say that you consider yourself a very beautiful person inside, always try your best to be great with people, but you continue attracting, negative energies. But I want you guys to understand that even if you're the brightest light out there, a beautiful person in every way, moths are also attracted to the light. All right, so you're gonna attract people that you may not feel resonate with who you are, and you may start to wonder, why. But let's say, for example, you're a beautiful, kind person, you're attracting the wrong energies. Remember that many of us are here to be healers, and as healers, you're gonna attract people that need healing, right? So, me, for example, I'm not saying that I'm Miss Pure or anything like that. But even when I was working on myself to become better, I was still attracting people that I was not ready for, or that I felt, were not in alignment with who I am, my beliefs, and with me in general. But I started understanding that although, yes, I may not, let's say, for example, I'm attracting somebody, I don't know, that was whatever, somebody really negative or whatever, but I may not really be that type of person. Maybe the problem is that I haven't learned how to set boundaries. Okay, we have to remember that life happens for us, not to us. So when you keep attracting somebody that you may not feel is in alignment with you, based on what you know about yourself and what you're trying to put out there, wonder those things. Have you also learned boundaries? Have you learned self-love and respect, to not accept certain things? That I had to go through that. All right, I had to go through, like, wondering what in the world was I doing wrong to attract such mates, right? Or not even mates, just people around me, even my job. I consider myself great at what I do because I do it with passion. However, it's like it was a non-stop, like, work, non-stop. It sometimes felt abusive. That became my abusive relationship, my job. And it wasn't until I started learning self-love, respect, and everything like that, and started working on myself even deeper, that even my job, that was extremely overwhelming, just magically, all that stress and extra work that I didn't need to deal with went away. And I have told you guys, I'm still in my same position, still doing the same exact thing. Actually, my teams that I not manage but that I support doubled. But my work almost diminished, like, and I'm still getting paid, I'm still, in the same position, everything, still doing my best. So it's like, it was beautiful to see that happen, but it had to be with me. I had to change that. So I wanted to clarify that, because you can be an earth angel, all right, and still attract the worst, because maybe the worst need you to heal. Okay, but if if you're tired of it, if it's eating you up, if it's taking over your life, maybe try to look within and see if you are putting the boundaries out there, because people can take advantage, all right, of the most beautiful, sweetest people. So make sure that you put in boundaries out there, as you earned, and I hope that helps. But let's go back to the original message of this, of this video today, and I'll try not to make it too long, is regarding limitations in our lives. As I had mentioned yesterday, it literally takes a whole community to raise us, be it that they are aware of it or not. Your environment raises you, to be not who you are, but at least the 3D version of you, right? While you in the 5D might be this high-ranking person, this high-ranking soul. Here in the 3D on earth, it may not appear so, because maybe, I don't know, maybe you live in the hood, maybe you feel like you cannot get out of there, maybe I don't know, you've been abused, and you just feel like that's just life, many different reasons. But it's not. We set those limitations, but in all fairness, there is an agenda with things, and not just an agenda, but we have so many things around us that affect us in ways that we can either consciously or unconsciously be aware of, right? For example, I grew up in Corona, Queens. It's not hood, it has its parts like everywhere in America, I think in the world, but I grew up around gangs. I grew up around poverty as well, poverty mentality, things like that. People dependent on the government and stuff like that. And let me clarify that. If you are, for example, in welfare and stuff like that, there's no shame in that. You understand what I'm saying? I have had to get into certain things. My family have had to use, the support of the government at times or whatever. But what I learned from the family, from my family, that before I used it, what I have learned from my family is that don't stay dependent on it, because that is a plan with welfare. Don't stay dependent on it. Use it as much as possible. Let me tell you something. Sometimes I feel not envy, but I'm like, damn, man. It's like sometimes it pays off to not be employed or whatever, or depending on the government, because they pay for your college, they pay for your home, they give you food. You understand what I'm saying? It's easy to fall in that trap, and that's exactly what it's designed to do, but that creates a limitation in us, where we become so dependent on things like that we don't know how to move away from that. You really become, you start thinking that without that government help, you cannot do things, and of course you can, of course. So what my family has taught me is use every resource available. My my family members that did get into that program went to school, you understand, got support, financial support to pay their bills while they were going to school, got daycare service so that their children couldn't go to school, and so the children can have care while they had to do what they had to do, so they did everything as much as they could. And then once they achieved, graduating from college, getting a decent job, they left it. They used it in the way that I feel should be used. But a lot of people, they get too comfortable, especially when we're in the hood, because oh man, there's so much negativity there. The people really feel like they're stuck there, and none of us are stuck anywhere. If we make ourselves believe that we are stuck, we will get stuck. There are no limitations in this world, not even the sky. The sky is not the limit. The limit is gonna be what you decide to be your limit. Okay, I am a type of person that I have been through my share of ish. I've had my things. I don't like to go too deep into it, because there's people that are involved that are still around my life that I don't ever, I don't want nobody seeing nobody in any light, because I don't blame nobody for nothing. I don't feel anger towards anyone. I don't feel like a victim or anything like that, but I don't want to mess up anybody's reputation. So, but I've been through things, man, that could have put me down. I could have stood there. I, by nature, am somebody that I get addicted to things and people and situations, So I've had an addiction problem. Maybe not with drugs. You understand what I'm saying? But addiction comes in many different forms. You can be addicted to food. You can be addicted to drugs. You can be addicted to people. You can be addicted to a certain type of energy. Many people that grow up in, let's say, homes where there's a lot of arguing and things, maybe not even homes, school, your hood, your friends. It's way too much going on. Too many influences that affect us. So it's like, I forgot my train of thought, I'm so sorry, but we have to not let those things limit us. Okay, we have potential to get out of everything. And what I will say, and please don't, you understand what I'm saying, don't judge nobody. Everybody has their story. Everybody, has a reason why we are the way we are. Okay, we all have to have compassion for everybody. Everybody has the potential to be their greatest self. All right, even if somebody was like real bad and everything like that, who knows what happened in their lives. Everybody has the potential to turn their lives around. All right, so, but I'll tell you guys this, when I separated from my children's father and everything like that, because I just felt it wasn't the right environment for my children and I. And while I wasn't really dependent on him, because I've been very, very independent, thankfully, which has helped me also to just not fear to start all over. I'm like the queen of ground zero. Like, I started my life literally from ground zero, like I think 12, 15 times. I have no idea, but I have literally like just left everything behind a few times and restarted with my children, by myself. Now I'm not gonna say by myself. With God, I have had family support, but there are times, that it has been like, a lot of it has been me, especially my willpower and my faith and my belief. Like, I had to like really believe that I can do these things. But the last time that I left, right, even though I was independent, I did need the support with like paying utilities, rent and stuff like that, right? And there was money coming in from, from my spouse or whatever, that was helping me pay for what I had to do, right? For our home and everything like that. But nobody was in a good environment, not even him. It was something that was literally killing him inside, because we have messed up our trust. We have messed up, and without trust, I believe, relationship, unless you fix that trust, it's gonna be very difficult. It's gonna be very, very difficult. So it's like, we didn't have trust for each other. He always thought I was gonna try to leave him for whatever little reason, because I had done it a million times. And I didn't trust that he had love for his own family. You understand what I'm saying? For many different reasons. But I needed him to pay for our home and everything like that, Well, that's not what I focused on, but I didn't even think like, damn, how am I gonna replace this money that I'm losing, if I make this decision. I am grateful I didn't even like bother to sit there and like wonder, because I have done this so many times before, and I know that I can do it no matter what. But it was very, very difficult. It was very difficult. I had to like come up with so much money, and mind you, I was broke when I decided to do this. And all I know is that God told me to do that. God said, take your children, you two, set your boundaries. It's time for you to learn your lessons with this situation. It's time for you to do what you got to do. And so I listened. and I did what I had to do. And even though, consciously I was like, damn, I need money. Like, how am I supposed to move like this? How am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to do that? Things just started coming right on my lap. Like, things just started like falling from the sky. I had, I bought like a $2 or $3 scratch off game, won $100, and I bought it just because I felt in my heart, like, I wasn't even trying to go to the supermarket or anything like that, but something just told me, just go get a scratch off, and mind you, I was already low on money, and I was like, man, to spend money on that, but I just felt the urge, like I needed to do that. And so I did, $100 right there. I even had coworkers that gave me money out of nowhere. You understand me, without even telling them like anything. Like, they just, man, when you treat people with love and respect and everything like that, it's like God calls them to do certain things for you, without you even asking or anything like that. So it's like every single thing that I needed was provided for. My family, they didn't even have the money that I needed. I needed a few $1,000s. And my family didn't even have it. But when people love you, they make things happen. So they borrowed from other people to make sure they help me. And it's things like that that will come to you when you do what you're supposed to do. So let's say, for example, if anyone is in an abusive relationship or something like that, you don't know how to get out, God doesn't want you to be abused. God doesn't want any of us to be abused in any way. You understand? So if something like that is happening to you, don't be afraid to pick up and leave. That's not the environment we're supposed to be in, especially if you have children. And trust me when I say you're gonna be dealing with a lot of PTSD from your children if you care about them. Because I had to deal with that with especially my daughters. I had to deal with like helping them with their PTSD as well as mine. I had to help them understand why certain things happen, why I allowed certain things, why their father was acting a certain way, and my daughters don't have any resentment for either myself or my spouse, or my ex-spouse, because they got to understand, they got to understand that we are all here with a story. We all here, that the environments around us, they play a big part in who we become, and we can always change that. That's the beauty of it. Every single day you have the opportunity to make the right choices, to change your life around. No matter where you're at, no matter if you do things with a kind heart and with love, doors are just gonna open for you, no matter where you are, no matter. All right? And trust me, I know, because like I said, I know ground zero way too much. I've been there a lot of times, but I've always risen right back up, and that's because I know that I cannot put limits on myself. All right? And I'm grateful that I've been given that way of being, because it didn't, it takes a lot. It's hard and it takes a lot, but it's possible. It's really, really possible. I could have many times chosen to stay down, and I have sometimes, but something inside me just doesn't allow me, because my purpose, the purpose I made for myself was my children. My children became my purpose for me to get up and do what I have to do. But not all of us have children, but we can find a purpose. Try to, even if it's, I don't know, even your parent, yourself, make yourself be your purpose, Make, like, I love working on myself. Like, I am my most beloved project, I love working on myself, because when I work on myself, I'm able to give to others. And I feel that that's my calling. I feel that my calling in this life has become, to, I don't know, just to help others with my experiences. It's not even, I'm not trying to say I'm any better than anybody. We're all the same and we all have the same potential, okay? But sometimes it's easier for some to get out of certain mentalities. Me, for example, you know, I feel that what have always helped me is that I've had an extremely strong connection to nature, and also I've had a loving family. That helps so much. But I understand not everybody has that, okay? But maybe, I don't know, maybe I've been through things that may be really, really rough compared to what you've been through in other ways, and I still got out of it. So that teaches me we all have that potential. But it starts in the mind, it starts inside, you know. It's us, only we can make that change. You know, one thing I learned is that, you know, like, you can get a pet snake, for example, right? And if you buy a container for that pet snake, you know, let's say this size, and the snake is like this size, the snake is only going to be able to grow to a certain size because the container is going to affect, you know, the growth. That's the same thing in our environments, right? And the families that we come into, and the neighborhoods we grew up in. You know, it's not even your fault, man. Like, sometimes we're just born into these things. But just because you're born there doesn't define you. It doesn't, you know, it shouldn't stop you from doing what you gotta do to get out of it. You just have to focus. You have to focus. You have to be determined. You have to have an intention to get out of it. You know, having a purpose helps you. Like me, my children have helped me to make the good decisions. All right, but it's not always going to be like that for everybody. But find that purpose. You know, having a purpose is what keeps us alive. It's what keeps us young. It's what keeps us kind. It's what keeps us, you know, going. So try your best to find a purpose, you know, and don't ever think that there's any limitation. Don't listen to what anybody says, no matter who it is. You know, people can, your own family can tell you you're not gonna be anything because this and this and that, because, you know, your parents didn't love you, because, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter. We cannot let that affect us. All right. So I hope this message came across clearly. I feel like I lost you guys a little bit. Maybe I lost myself, I don't know. But I hope that to you it came clearly, and that it touched your heart, and that it gives you inspiration to do what you gotta do. And, you know, don't judge yourself at all. All right. Like I said, everything shapes us. So don't judge yourself. Just now get up and do what you gotta do. All right, guys, I'll let you be, and I'll talk tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and I hope you have an amazing evening, rest of your day, morning, whatever. All right, have a great day. Bye.